Jesus, look, we do a weekly podcast called Tweed and Bones. It's a comedy podcast. I don't know how it's led us here, Ian, in the war zone, but it has led us here. We do a weekly podcast, and you can check it out at Tweed and Bones. We're on Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, I think.
Stitcher as well.
Yeah, Stitcher as well. Oh, Ian's a goal now.
I've been shot.
Ian's been shot, right? I need to go now.
Every Saturday.
Patch up his wounds every Saturday. Tweed and Bones. Well, listen to it for our sakes.
You remember any bad heckles that you've got?
A woman in Oxford, just halfway through I was dying on my oil, and she just said, she just stood up and said, "What is it you want?" I said, I don't know. I said I used to think that you got acceptance and a bit of joy, a bit of love in my life, but obviously not here. But that was a very bizarre gig. The interval just before I'd gone on, there was a lot of young lads at it wasn't Oxford, it was in Cambridge. A lot of young lads at the table who thought it was very funny to do Hitler impressions and start standing up, thinking it would be ironically funny. I shouting out Sieg Heil, and their entire room thought they were hilarious. And then,
it sort of comes back, doesn't it? The whole kind of the racism, the sexism. It's back now, but it's more ironic. But is it ironic?
It's ironic. They've been using that phrase for a while. Yeah. It used to be called postmodern irony. There's no place for it. I find it. I wonder where you draw the line. I mean, we sort of like if you're a minority of any kind, it seems to be licensed to be racist about any other kind of minority or any other a group or race. You see that a lot.
Yeah.
You see a lot of comics. They go, "Oh no, because I'm such a thing, I can take the mickey now out of."
Especially if you're like a black. I always think if you're like a black actor and you're on a show and all the material is about racism, right? But it's still just as bad as in the 50s when they just used to hire actors to make jokes about them. But just because it's ironic and it's still about race all the time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean?
No, I mean it has to be covered. I mean,
yeah.
The thing is, as white comics, we'll never understand fully what racism is. I'd say that's it's not even close to it, but a feeling of what the fuck. I remember doing some gigs in Switzerland with Ninia Benjamin. She's a very funny lady, and she's black, and we were out having a day, going to the shops, having lunch, and it was obvious that a few people thought we were a couple. We were in Zurich, and some of the looks we were getting, and we'd have people particularly just walking around the table staring at us like we were some sort of couple, like we were freaks. and Ninia picked up on it, and we shouldn't do anything. She said, "Oh, it's a useless kind of thing." But I was incensed. I was going, "What the fuck is this?" Like, I ended up shouting after a few people, "What the fuck is wrong? You come back and have another fucking look, you pricks." We'll never understand what, and it has to be highlighted, and it can be highlighted very funnily. And there's a lot of acts that do it really well. It's when it's just laziness, really. But
then you get.
But there's a lot of comic hack lazy. Right. I don't think there's any hack subjects. People tell you there's hack ways of talking about something. No, there's not hack subjects. I mean, but relationships might consider hack. They say, no, if you find a different angle to talk about relationships, it's not hack. But if you talk about it in the old, unoriginal way, then that's hack.
Yeah, I always think that people say mother-in-law jokes are hack, but I love seeing Les Dawson do them.
Well, he sort of invented them.
Yeah.
He sort of invented them, so and he was great.
Apparently got on great with his mother-in-law.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got on wonderfully well with it, and some stuff ahead of its time as well. I mean, there was a guy he's the one. He says, "This was in the 70s. I'm not homosexual. I just help them out when they're busy," which is a funny joke. It's still now. Isn't that a funny joke?
That's brilliant.
Fantastic line, but could you imagine when he was doing? I sort of feel sorry for him, Les Dawson. He was at an era when everything he did, he knew that every other comic would be using in the clubs that week.
Yeah, because apparently the show The Comedians, they had just a big blackboard of who's doing what joke tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unbelievable. And that's how apparently Bearne Manning used to do it in his club, the Embassy. He'd have his few acts on.
Did you ever do that?
Well, what happened was about 2000, 99, 2000, year 2000, and Smug Roberts was asked to take over it by Bernard's son, Bearnes Jr., because he wanted to make it more of an alternative place. So I did some open spots there, and bizarre place.
What were the crowds like there?
Well, this is interesting. It was the crowds they were getting for the embassy, who were seeing mother-in-law and racist jokes and horrible misogyny, and then we're laughing at these so-called alternative comics who were talking about shopping or difficult parties, just that kind of thing, with completely different subjects. It was really bizarre. So yeah, it was quite a dingy place as well. But apparently,
it's still going.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's still there, the building. I don't think there might be stuff going on in there, but apparently we got told that Bearne, because he'd host the nights if he was there at the weekends, he'd have like 4 other comics on, there'd be singers and so on, might be 3 or 4 comics, and he'd write the list, he'd know what they were going to do, each comic could do, and then before he'd go on stage, because he was going to introduce them, he'd look at their list and go, right, I'll do that one, and that one off their list. Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of stories. There's a particular story about a comedian I won't mention. You just hear stories about them and go, they sound like an asshole.
Who's that?
I'm not going to say his name.
Alright, okay.
Like, he's a Manchester guy. He's quite big. Everyone always says he's an asshole.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright, okay. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, yeah.
He put people a lot of money for a TV show and stuff.
Really?
And you think...
Oh, well, we'll chat about this when we're off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just a rumour, but...
Yeah.
You always see these sort of people on TV and you hear these stories. Whereas I like to kind of focus more on that. So, like, I always hear the stories about Johnny Vegas.
Yeah.
Everyone always said he's like the greatest guy ever.
Oh, he's good lad. He's a good guy.
Have you done a lot of gigs with him?
Initially when I started, I did a few, and then obviously he got big, famous, and we were sort of getting famous like 98, 99. Still one of the best acts I've ever seen live. When he's on form, he's
free form as well.
Yeah, it's untouchable. And then also by the same token, when he's not on form, there's times when he's too pissed or whatever, or not drunk enough, or not in the right place, and it's a car crash. And but yeah, when he's firing, Johnny, I don't think there's anybody better. For a live experience, there's nobody better than him. It's phenomenal, sensational.
Is he back doing that again?
Yeah, he is a little bit. He did in last March. He did a charity gig of mine in Manchester. Thankfully, helped sell most of the ticket. Well, him and Sarah Millican as well both did it. But yeah, for Parkinson's UK, and it was good. He was meant to do 15 on the night, did nearly 40. It's classic Johnny.
Yeah.
But yeah, funny. He's been doing a few since. Yeah.
I remember Milligan. I did my first ever gig with Milligan years ago, and she was so lovely to me. Like,
Milligan, yeah.
Milligan. She gave me a hug.
Milligan.
What did I say?
Milligan, you call him.
Milligan.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
She said what? She gave me a hug and said, "Welcome to the club." Like, welcome to comedy. Comedy. She's really nice.
She's lovely. She is a lovely person. Yeah, these.
I remember she used to be a lot darker as well when she started.
She was, yeah, but she's hardworking. She got to where she is through hard work, but mainly by being funny.
Yeah.
She's a very funny lady, and they couldn't ignore her. They had to obviously bronze her. And of course, she was a lot darker, and she still can be on the you see her in the clubs or on that. Yeah, of course, but it's TV. You do something in the BBC, you say, "Oh God," they get somebody complaining, going, "How dare they tell that?" You just got to be so careful what you got to do. You've only got so many swear words you can use per episode and all that kind of stuff after it.
I think that's why the internet stuff's taken off more now for comedians, because they can be sort of freer.
But yeah, maybe, and what you sort of, it'd be interesting now, because it's quite right that without censor at the minute. But that won't be for long. Somebody will find a way around that, which is quite wrong. But yeah, and then a perfect platform for it, I think, for anything. There's a couple of good shows on there. He's on Netflix. You get some, but they show some terrible stuff from like gigs they filmed in like Amsterdam and so on. And you just go, they did terrible quality footage, and it's obviously the club who sold it, not the comic who sold the stuff. But I think pay-per-view, I think I know they have the HBO specials in America, but I think more I could see it going more pay-per-view kind of thing. Comics doing a.
Would you ever film an hour and put it online and maybe charge a couple of quid for it?
Yeah, I've thought about that. I thought about doing that. Yeah. I want to. I mean, I've never sold CDs or anything afterwards. I recorded a DVD a few years ago, and we had problems on the night record. It just didn't look right. I wasn't happy with the quality of it afterwards, so I never released it. But I like the idea of instead of a CD, having a vinyl record somebody can buy afterwards.
That'd be cool.
And I found out that you're printing them in the UK now on a 7-inch vinyl record. On both sides, you can get 14 minutes of material on either side if it's played at 33 RPM.
Oh.
So it's 28 minutes, or almost half an hour. So I think it'd be quite good. So I'd like to do that. I'd like to get some vinyl. I think it'd be a unique way.
Yeah, I like the idea of something audio.
Yeah.
Because I used to listen to Bill Hicks on CD and stuff like that.
Well, I used to listen to Richard Pryor on vinyl and Pete and Dud.
Yeah, the two characters that he done.
Derek and Clive. Yeah, I used to listen to them on. Remember just
League of Gentlemen. I bought them as well years ago on tape. I remember from Radio series.
The Radio 4 series. Yeah. It was very funny. I think in '98, Johnny Gone to Edinburgh was smashing it up. Mr. Vegas was smashing it up, and he got nominated. And the winners that year were League of Gentlemen.
Oh,
yeah. Because I always remember a few years after that when they'd had that. Because the League of Gentlemen TV series is one of my favourites ever.
Amazing.
Phenomenal. And being out with Johnny again, and somebody mentioned that anyway. Yeah, and who won it? The League of Gentlemen. What the fuck have they gone on to do? But yeah, I don't think that'd get made now. The BBC, they're so terrified of any offence or. I mean, that'd be too dark for the BBC.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful for it though. It was amazing.
My favourite. I love the third series. A lot of people didn't like it because it didn't have a studio audience.
Yeah,
But there was one called Maxi Power. This guy thought he was Knight Rider. I was just killed myself laughing.
Very funny. I used to. Yeah, all the characters were so good as well. I mean, so well thought out as well, and they were brilliant actors, weren't they? Brilliant actors and brilliant writers as well.
And they've got
they brought everything to life. They did. It was just amazing.
The way they wrote as well was two of them each. Stephen Reese used to write.
Yeah.
And then Mark would write with the other one that doesn't perform, Jeremy Dyson, I think.
Yeah. I've heard rumours he wrote a lot. He wrote a lot of stuff. It was
oh really?
Well, I could be wrong, but I heard he was. I mean, they're all wrote on it, but he was a guy. Then when they were stuck on something, they'd give it to him, and then he.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
That's what I've heard. He was in the film briefly.
Yeah.
He got pushed off the cliff.
Did you like the film?
I did actually. I thought it was good. I thought it was. I liked it because of the way they'd done the stories. It's sort of.
I thought it was quite a cool way to bring the characters to life.
Yeah, but it was almost like a homage to the old Hammer House horror about having a bit of a montage, a trilogy within a film, basically. Yeah, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it.
Dave, they never do stand up, or were they always just a sketch group?
I'm not sure. They used to do it live. Which I never got a chance to see it. They're meant to be touring again. Somebody said. And they were meant to be so funny.
Yeah, I heard they're back doing a show or something again.
Yeah, they were meant to be so funny. Particularly the bit they actually used in the thing with Legs Akimbo. They used to.
They're great.
Yeah, I'd like to see them live.
I think even to see one of them live, like do like a monologue or a character would be ace.
Yeah.
Do you think with sketch? What do you think the sort of hack things in sketch are compared to stand up?
In sketches,
yeah.
I don't know. I think the hack way is to have a deliberate punchline. So I'm getting annoyed at that.
Sketches are more surreal now, aren't they?
Well, yeah, Big Train had a lot to do with that, and also
Jam as well.
Jam was great, and Paul Whitehouse did. I mean, with the Fast Show was really good. It was all based on catchphrases and so on, but. A lot of them were funny when there wasn't really much going on in them as well, and also he had that wonderful character who had everybody in tears when the drunk guy with the big nose.
Yeah.
And then tells that story about somebody dying, and you just go, fuck it now.
This is poignant.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's like in The Office where he gets sacked and you see the real man behind all this
cockiness.
Do you think that works as well in stand-up, a bit of poignancy?
I think you can do, yeah.